Brett Taylor. For my interest project, I'm doing the emu. The emu is a flightless bird thought to roam Australia over 80 million years ago. The emu is the next largest bird to the ostrich. The emu appears on the Australian coat of arms. The Australians saw the emu as pests, as they break their fences and feed on their crops, but they also ate many insects. They survived the Emu War in 1932 as an attempt of their mass destruction by using machine guns. The first emus were imported into Canada and the United States in the 1930s. Their meat, oil, hide, feathers, and other products are in high demand all over the world. Outside of Collingwood, Ontario, 2.5 hours from Oakville, is an emu farm that we are going to visit and find out many other interesting facts about this strange and amazing bird. At Beaver Valley Emu Ranch outside of Collingwood. Mr. Crane is the owner, and I'm going to ask him some questions about the emu, and then I hope to get a close-up look at them. Not yet?
No. Hey, I wasn't doing anything.
Turbo has to be one of them.
Okay,
Woo! Looks like a puppet show. Woo! They're quick.
I think,
He's running laps.
Bob?
Thanks, Mr. Crane, for letting me visit your farm. How long have you been raising emus?
We've been raising them 2 years.
2 years?
2 years, yeah.
What made you decide to raise emus?
Oh, we just had the farm and we thought it was a pretty neat business, so we had all this land and we just wanted to try a new industry and we thought we'd get in on the ground floor.
Oh, that's How big are they when they're first hatched?
When they're born, they come out of the egg, they're about 7, 8 inches high and probably weigh about a pound, 2 pounds.
How big do they grow and how much do they weigh?
They're full grown at 1 year, 12 months old, and they're 6 feet tall to the top of their head, and the average weight is about 130 pounds.
How do they get along with people?
They're very docile birds. They're friendly. They don't kick or bite you or chase you. They're just really calm. They're just a little spooky when you come up and make quick moves. They get a little spooked, but yeah, they get along really great with people. Yeah.
How long could they live in the wild?
They can live. They live up to 40 years. The average is 30, 35 years.
How many eggs do they lay in a year?
The average is about 30 to 50 eggs a year, but we have one female from her mother was a world champion egg layer in 1995. She laid 138 eggs. So that's a lot. That's a lot.
Whoa. What products do you get from emus and how are they better than different animals?
Well, we're raising them for meat, for leather, and oil. General Motors uses the feathers before they paint Cadillacs. The feathers will deflect all the dust off metal, so they use the feathers. They use the toenails for jewelry. They use the meat, obviously, to eat. The meat is better than beef or chicken. It's lower in fat. It's lower in cholesterol. They call it the meat of the 90s. It's the meat of the future. It's red meat, and the meat tastes like beef, but you have to cook it like chicken. You can overcook it easily. And then the leather, they use the leather for boots. They use it for clothing. It's very soft. It's supple. And the oil, they use the oil for muscle injuries, and it's a really deep penetrating oil. They're just working on getting the oil approved for severe burns. So many uses for it, many.
How do they protect themselves from their enemies?
Well, when they're in here like this, they really don't have any enemies, but if they're out in the wild, most of their enemies that bother them, they just run from them, and these guys will run up to 40, 50 kilometers an hour. If somebody got in really close on them, they have a pretty wicked kick, so they either kick them or run away from them.
How many emus do you have on your farm?
We have 18 birds, 9 male and 9 female. We bought them in June of '95, and this is the first year they started to lay eggs. They normally start laying eggs between 2 and 3 years old. We up to date right now have 40 eggs, and we only have 4 couples laying eggs right now. So, but we started with 18. We still have 18, and we have 18 healthy birds. We've never even had a veterinarian visit here. So, yeah, we've been real lucky.
This is Mr. Crane's daughter, Andrea. She has some emu feathers. This is Jessica, Mr. Crane's daughter. Another one. And she's holding an emu feather. Mr. Crane, do your children help you on the farm?
Yeah, they help us feed the birds. They come and help us water them. They have a lot of fun with the emus, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they help us even collect the eggs. And once the little chicks are born, and the first set of eggs were set to hatch on February the 9th, and hopefully there'll be lots of things for the kids to do with all the baby chicks.
You eat the emu eggs, and how much do they cost?
Well, yeah, you can eat them. One emu egg is equivalent to 12 chicken eggs. The emus are not, the eggs are not plentiful enough for them to sell them to eat like that in a store, but if you were to buy an emu egg to eat, you'd probably pay $5 an egg.
How old were the emus when you got them?
We bought 9 pair, and they were all 3 months old. So 3 months is the best time from the time when they hatch. You want to keep the emus. They're not safe to travel and move from farm to farm till at least 3 months old. Then they're more stable and you can buy them. So we bought all of them at 3 months.
How much did they cost?
We paid for a pair $2,500 a pair at 3 months old, and they are just all now just having their second birthdays this month, and they're probably worth about $10,000 a pair now.
The emus make interesting noises, and hopefully we'll be able to hear them. Guess not today. You're not in the mood. How do you hatch the eggs?
Well, the eggs are laid, and then we collect the eggs, and there's 4 females laying eggs right now, and you take them away right away, and we collect them up to 2 weeks, and we store them in a cooler. And so we put them all into an incubator at the one time rather than putting one in every day, and you have chicks hatching all the time. You collect them for up to 2 weeks, and then we put them in the incubator all at one time. But you take the eggs and you put them in a cooler with a frozen bottle of pop, and you turn them 180 degrees every 12 hours, and inside the cooler it keeps the temperature about 60 degrees, and it's almost like keeping them in suspended animation. And then you take them from that and you put them all into the incubator, and they're about 50 days in the incubator before they hatch.
Why do you have to take them away from their mothers?
Well, if you take the eggs away, you if you didn't take them away, they'd lay about 7, and then they'd sit on the 7 because that's all that will fit underneath them. And they'd wait for 50 days to hatch that 7. But if you take them away right away, they just keep laying them, trying to build up that big flock of birds.
Which was the first egg, and were you excited?
Yeah, it was this one right here that says December 4th on it. You can't really see the writing on it. And it was the first one, and I was really excited when I saw it.
Now I'm going to ask Jesse a question. Why is there writing on the egg?
Well, to see what couple it's from and to see what date it is. And I guess that's all.
This is Mr. Ladley, Mr. Crane's partner. What is that computer device on the incubator?
Well, the computer controls the humidity and temperature that's required to hatch the eggs. It's as close as possible to what nature would provide itself. So you have your temperature and your humidity, and this is the constant, and this is what's actually in the computer, or actually in the incubator. So it keeps the temperature and humidity constant.
When are they going to be hatched, and do you have any special jobs?
They're going to hatch, the first batch is going to hatch on February 9th, and I get to name the first batch.
After they come out of the incubator, where do they go?
Well, 3 days before they're ready to hatch, we take them out of the incubator and we put them into this, which is the hatcher, which we haven't even taken out of the crate. That's how new we are into this business. But they stay in the hatcher for 2 to 3 days, and then they break out of their shell, and then they spend the temperature and everything in the hatcher will be the same as in the incubator. And then once they're out of after about a day in the hatcher, they come out of the hatcher, and then we bring them into the next room, which is called the brooding room, and we built this pen. And we'll be putting wood shavings down on the floor here, and feeders, and then we'll put all the little baby chicks in here. And then we have got to build another one over here for when they get a little older. And then they keep working through the barn to bigger stages and bigger runs, and then when the weather gets warmer, they'll go right outside.
Thank you, Mr. Crane, for letting me see your emus and emu eggs. It's been a wonderful time watching them and seeing the eggs.
You're welcome. And I hope you come back when the first babies arrive. So you're welcome to come back anytime.